Hi, this is Seth Harper.
And I'm Asher Callio.
And this is the Living Uncharted podcast. Oh, dude, I'm back in the studio. It feels good.
I don't even
Honestly,
know if you guys are ready for this one.
They aren't. I individually interviewed every single one of our audience members, and none of them were ready.
Ain't nobody ready.
Not a single one.
I got off at 24 this morning, and I drank an energy drink on an empty stomach. So I am humming right now.
Have you started to feel that gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach yet?
I did eat some stuff. We were at the synagogue this morning, so had some. The rabbi brought in some salmon dip.
Nice.
Absolument fantastique.
What do you dip in it?
Typical dip things.
Like chocolate bars or...
Usually chocolate. We were putting ice cream in there and kind of just wrapping it in that.
As you do.
No, mostly just like crackers and stuff.
You were dipping yourself in there?
It's like Jewish, but we're still in the Midwest, so we're gonna dip crackers in it.
You didn't get my joke, Asher.
Oh, I got it. I just chose to ignore it.
Just chose to ignore it. That's fair. That's probably valid.
Because I'm not a cracker.
Are you not?
I'm actually the biggest percent of me is of African descent. So think about that for a second.
I did think about it, and all I'm going to say is that's cool. And I'm gonna leave it there.
We're so PC on this podcast. It's insane.
Are you saying that we should be less PC?
Oh, well, for legal reasons, no.
Okay, well, here's the deal. If you don't want PC, I have a music recommendation for y'all. I'm assuming most of the listening audience has heard of Morgan Wallen by this point. He's kind of popped off, not just as a country artist, but he's got some songs that have...
Morgan is a girl name.
Hey, if I had a girl and named her Asher, that'd be a girl name, so...
Huh? Okay.
Think about that one for a second.
Dang, I've just been...
feel shredded right now.
I was really put in my place just now.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so Morgan Wallen, I don't know why I put that space. Those two.
Morgan Wallen. That's like that game where you try to figure out how many different ways you can say, you can emphasize the different syllables in a word.
That's a game?
Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen.
Morgan. Oh, man. Anyway, sorry, Morgan. He's good friends with another country music artist named Hardy.
Yeah.
He is a little bit less well known, but he is also starting to gain some traction.
I would say if you know Morgan Wallen, you know Hardy, probably.
Probably. Most likely. And so, up until this past week, I wasn't a huge Hardy fan. I knew a couple of his songs that I thought were okay. But then, on my way to and from work this past week, I listened all the way through his most recent album. It is called The Mockingbird and the Crow. And it it's a wild ride because like the first half of the album is pretty stereotypical country music, you know, what you would expect from a country album.
Yeah.
And then halfway through is the title song, Mockingbird and the Crow, where the first half of the song is, again, still pretty normal country, and then he transitions into, like, this rock album. And
I mean, I'm here for it.
It was, dude, it's insane, because, like, honestly, the song kind of gave me whiplash at first, because I was, like, settling into the country vibe a little bit, and then like the vibe just pivots, and he's like screaming, and it's like, wow. But the reason I've like, and the rest of the album is really good too. The reason I really like this album so much is because he really makes a point to emphasize like that he loves the country life, like the lifestyle. That he is trying to make it clear that, like, you know, a lot of people have just certain expectations of how pretty much all genres of music are supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And like he literally, like, one of his songs is called Radio Song, where like he's making fun of the fact of how like in the country music industry, in order to write a hit, you've got to make sure it talks about a truck, talks about a girl, talks about
pigeonholed,
right? And then like within that same song, like the chorus of the song is like kind of like a normal country, like, hey, talking about how he wants to like take the girl home from the bar, but then like at the end of the chorus every time he then just starts screaming, but hey, this isn't a radio song. And then that goes into like the rock portion of the song. I would highly recommend it. Even if you're not a rock or a country fan, it's definitely a different kind of musical experience where and listen to the album in order. Don't listen to songs out of order, like, because then you get like the full experience of like his country phase and then transitioning into rock, and then like even his rock music is still singing about like a lot of country stuff, but it just like it doesn't sound the way you would expect a country song to sound like. So
anyway. I mean, Mockingbird and the Crow is a pretty bold album name considering birds aren't real. That was just what I was thinking the whole time. Like that's really bold to like model your whole album name off of something so fake, you know?
That's right. He's really stepping out there and, just doing his thing, even though it's fake.
Yeah.
Asher, do you prescribe to the belief that birds are just government drones?
Listen. Have I mounted a crusade against birds because I think that they're listening to me? Maybe. I'm not.
Just like the goose in the parking lot in Cincinnati.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, in preparation for this episode and telling that joke, I actually did consult my lawyer, and he said I can't talk about it any further. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Big Brother is always listening.
Yep.
So we got to be careful about what we say.
Yeah. Yep. And you're really always just one internet search away from being put on a watch list. So.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it a joke? Yeah. Is it real? You'll never know.
Never know. You just never know.
Yeah. So that brings us into today's episode.
That's right.
What a wild intro.
Yep. Hey, I felt the need to talk about that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, your point was normal, but kind of. I think I kind of specialize in just making things
just like taking it and twisting it and making it like
complicated.
Yeah. Hey, I think we're turning it into a theme now where like the first chunk of our episodes are just like you and I talking about whatever happens to be on our minds.
Current events, yeah. I was thinking we could do like you guys are getting more behind the scenes today. I was thinking we could do a segment where we just like have it could be like podcast therapy, we could call it, and we just have like we get to go on like a minute rant, and that's how we start the episode.
And the other person like can't interrupt, like you just get to like shout about like.
Well, yeah. So I would be able to interrupt you, but then you couldn't interrupt me.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I think that's just fair.
Yep. As the one who is currently the most bald out of the two of us, I'll give that to you.
What? Oh my gosh. So funny story about that. You know how I told the story a couple episodes ago about the girl thinking I was a professor? That
was really embarrassing for you.
It was super embarrassing for me. I cried about it a lot. Basically, the same thing happened in class the other day. A couple of my peers, my classmates, were like trying to figure out how old everyone was, and one of them was like, "Wait, Asher, how old are you?" I was like, "I'm 22." They're like, "Oh, I thought way older." And I'm like,
"No.
First of all, shut up. There was no reason you had to add that." And then one of my instructors was like asking me a little bit about myself, and he's like, "So you're kind of the grandpa of the group, right?" And I was
my word. What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, "No, I'm 22." And he was like, "Yep, you're the grandpa."
Dude, I'm sorry. Your life is kind of just like falling apart before your eyes.
It's snowballing out of control, really.
Just like, yeah.
And
it's crazy.
So that seems like a good time to announce that as soon as I'm done with school, I'm flying to Turkey for a hair transplant.
Wait, Turkey?
Yeah. You haven't heard about that?
No.
Yeah, so like hair transplants are super expensive in the States, but you can get this like package deal where I think it's like
a nose job and
5,000. A nose job.
A bundle.
Oh man. You get the nose job, the BBL, and the hair transplant.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on nose jobs.
And actually the Geico Gecko oversees the whole operation, so.
Oh yeah, naturally.
You're getting, quality healthcare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So. Good deal. Well, anyway, we do have an actual topic for today's episode. Contrary to popular opinion.
Sure.
So if you guys have been keeping along, which you should, and again, if you're just listening to this episode for the first time, I know we're already about 13 minutes in, but go back and listen to the last two episodes first.
Yep.
Before you listen to this one. I probably should have mentioned that in the last episode.
Context is important. So.
Yes, absolutely. Because yeah, we've been talking about the wild ride that we went on.
The wild ride.
It was quite a time. But yeah, if you haven't listened to the first couple episodes of this series, please go back and do that. And then we'll just wait here.
Yep.
Go do it. We're waiting.
And welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed those first two episodes. Here's episode 3.
That's right. So, Asher.
Yeah.
What's the next part of our trip?
Seth This is not my domain. No. I actually did listen back in our discussion from the last episode to figure out where we would be for this episode. And since you guys just listened to either 1 and 2 or just 2, I don't need to give a recap. There will be no
That's
recap.
Right. Nope. If you didn't listen to them and you don't know what's happening, that's your fault.
In the beautiful state of Tennessee.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. The place, the people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of it. Gorgeous.
So we were talking about camping in the mountains in Tennessee.
The Smoky Mountains.
The Smoky Mountains.
Goddamn Smokies.
And they were smoky, all right.
They were. They weren't on fire, just to be clear.
Oh, yeah. That's actually how I decided to become a firefighter. I was, no.
We'll have to have another episode where we really do dig into every single life moment that led you to decide to become a firefighter.
Oh, jeez. All right.
But that's a story for another time.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were talking about camping in the Smokies and getting dinner at this nice little restaurant in Delco
I thought you said
Plains.
you weren't going to give a recap.
No, but I'm just... It's not a recap. I can't do anything right.
Asher, you are a wonderful human being. And you have many qualities that I cherish. And yeah, keep going. I don't really know where I was going with that.
I don't either.
But
I was about to start quoting Billy Madison. Today, Junior.
Who's Billy Madison?
Oh, it's an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, is that like this? Oh, the Benchwarmers? Is that Benchwarmers?
I really wouldn't recommend it, honestly. It's a very stupid movie, but there are some funny moments. So.
Okay. Anyway, please continue.
Yeah. So, I believe we camped at that place 2 nights. It was the longest we were at any one spot.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
What?
It was only 1 night, wasn't it?
So we were there 1 night.
No, I could be wrong.
Because I don't know.
Let's try and figure this out.
I don't remember the timeline.
Oh, jeez.
So that was more than 48 hours ago, so my memory of it is limited.
It was
at best.
Several multiples of 48 hours ago.
Yeah, a couple multiples.
Yeah. No, we were in Cincinnati Tuesday, and then got to Knoxville.
See, this is where Seth's schooling is actually coming in clutch because he's accounting for the days that we were on this trip.
Oh, well done, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's actually all I've been learning, in case y'all are wondering.
Basic arithmetic.
Yeah. No, basic recalling skills.
Basic reconnaissance.
Now we're just saying random words.
No. Mine. Okay. So anyway,
what is happening today? Oh my gosh.
We saw the waterfalls as we talked about in last episode. We went to the restaurant. We went back to our campsite. Whether that was the first night or the second night, who can really say? Not me, certainly. And maybe Seth, but maybe not even that. So yeah, we stayed there. We got up the next morning. just reveled in the beauty of our site for a little bit, and then got packed up.
Yeah.
We just couldn't get... Oh, gosh. We just couldn't wait to get back on the road again.
Just can't wait to get on the road again. Something, something, this is an old country song. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
There we go.
Nailed it.
We brought it
in for a landing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so our next stop was Nashville, Tennessee.
And what a stop it was.
It was. Honestly, the city was more hopping than usual. And it's usually pretty hopping already.
Yeah, because we were there on St. Patrick's Day, weren't we?
We were. And not only that, but it wasn't just it was a coincidence that I happened to mention Morgan Wallen at the beginning of this episode, because he was actually performing in Nashville the night that we were there.
And that definitely factors into the story of that day.
Yes, it does. And that was kind of a coincidence too. Like, we didn't plan for that to happen.
No.
It just, like, we got into Nashville and we probably saw some signs and whatnot, and then I went on his Instagram to double check, and I was like, oh yeah, he's performing in Nashville tonight.
You sound really chill about it now, but
well, no.
Seth was wigging it, freaking out that Morgan Wallen was anywhere near us.
That's probably true. Anyway, so yeah, I think we got to Nashville. We stopped at a grocery store.
Yep, just outside of Nashville, I think.
Yeah.
It was... Yeah. That was definitely not the sketchiest place we were at on that trip, but it was not the not sketchiest place.
As far as grocery stores go,
yeah,
it ranks right up there with the Pick and Save that's right down the road from where I currently live. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's great. I hate going in there after 8 o'clock. Anyway, that's a separate issue.
If Seth's going shopping after 8, he's packing heat. Packing some heat.
Or I'll just suck it up and drive over to Woodman's.
There you go.
But, yeah, we stopped at a grocery store to get some just, lunch supplies.
Bare necessities, really.
That's right. Yeah. And then we went to great lengths to figure out if there were still tickets available that people were selling.
Oh, jeez.
For that night's show. And they were.
We tried. We tried.
Yeah, but, we thought about it. Because, I want to say tickets were going for, $300 a piece or so.
I think by the time we were actually thinking about buying them, I think they were more than that.
Well, they were, and honestly, I think that was just because of, all the dumb Ticketmaster fees. Because,
Right. I think I remember that we were like, this is crazy, but we're going to do it. And then we saw the Ticketmaster fees, and we're like, there's no way.
No, that's exactly it. I hit checkout, and then the fees showed up, and I was like...
Because I think... that brought it up to almost $400 a person.
It did. Yeah, which is insane. Ticketmaster, get your crap together.
Well, honestly. There goes that dream.
Ticketmaster most likely will not be sponsoring us anytime soon.
No.
So unfortunately,
that's going to be after the Will Ferrell episode.
Right. That's
and
right.
Then they'll come crawling to us, and we'll be like,
sucks to suck, Ticketmaster. We don't need you anymore.
Not that we ever did.
That's right. We never did. Anyway, but I know that we had one last-ditch effort idea.
Oh, yeah.
To try and get tickets.
I remembered that, but I almost forgot to mention it.
This was kind of wild. And it's also the reason why I still get texts from him to this day.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh, my gosh. That's great.
So, I went on Morgan's Instagram page, and he claims that his phone number is just like posted on the Instagram page, and like it seemed to be there was a phone number that was on the Instagram page,
and that was where we were deceived.
Well, I'm not sure, or I'm not entirely sure how it works, because we texted it, and we came up with this long treatise that we collaboratively typed out.
Yo, treatise is kind of the perfect word for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
about how
heartfelt.
Yeah, I think it was, because like we were just like, hey Morgan, this is Seth. I'm in Nashville with my friend Asher.
Just really two down on their luck youngsters.
That's right.
With $20 and a dream.
That's right. And we were like, hey, we can't get tickets for tonight, but like, we love your music. You're the reason why Asher even likes country music, period. And so, like, we were wondering if, like, maybe you'd be able to get us some, like, backstage passes for the show tonight or something.
We really dreamed big and kind of shot for the moon with that one.
We did. And honestly, like, I'm glad we did. Like, why not? You know, like, if you're going to shoot your shot, might as well whip out the bazooka and not the little teeny pistol, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And bazooka we did.
It didn't hit anything, but we shot it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had McFlurry in my mouth there. Pardon me. So yeah, because like what happens when you text that phone number is there's like an auto-generated response where it's like, hey y'all, this is Morgan. You can type your message here.
You sound just like him.
Clearly. Hey y'all, this is Morgan. Leave your message here. If you receive another message, it'll be directly from me.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Like, he's a big-time artist. He can't be responding to... Like, he himself can't respond to every text he gets.
Right. No. Oh, yeah. Like, if I was in his position, that would drive me nuts. If I just had, like, random people texting me all the time.
Yeah, I would hate it if a bunch of my fans were just, like, showering me with praise all the time. That would be terrible, dude.
Oh, why are you coming at me today?
I'm not. I love you, son.
I mean, I love you too, man. He did not get back to us. So, unfortunately, we did not go to that show. But that's okay. We still had a great time in Nashville nonetheless.
And, yeah, it was like we knew the audacity of our request. We didn't really expect too much from it, I don't feel like. There was, like, enough hope that it would be really cool if something happened. But it was also the understanding that, like, he was performing that day, so the odds of it were pretty slim.
That's a great way of putting it. But no, we still had the rest of the afternoon and evening. So I know we found a place to park, which unfortunately was more expensive because of the fact that Morgan was playing there that night.
Right. And everybody and their dog was there for St. Patrick's Day.
Right. But that's okay. We found a place to park, and we started by going to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool, personally.
Yeah. I think it was kind of like, for me, it was kind of like the Bat Factory. Like, I probably wouldn't have gone myself, but once we were there, it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was cool. They had a lot of, like, crazy instruments, like vintage instruments that different country artists used, or lots of different stuff for the newer country fan like myself to enjoy.
Yeah, like you could say like artifacts
right.
of like certain singers essentially. And they really like. I think they kind of. I'm trying to remember. I feel like they kind of have the order of all the exhibits almost like in chronological order.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like you start with the older stuff and you gradually get newer.
Yeah. And it was cool. It's like country has progressed quite a bit. And, you know, it depends if that's like if you're into that or not. But
right.
It was interesting to see, you know, kind of where it started and where it is now.
Yeah, like for some, I don't know, I remember this name, but like Chris Christopherson, I know was like a big name in country music in the 20th century, where like he made music, but he was also just like a big songwriter for a lot of other artists.
Imagine you have the opportunity to create a stage name, but you stick with Chris Christopherson.
Hey, I think it's got a nice ring to it, personally.
His producers are like, "You're sure about this?" He's like, "Oh, absolutely."
That's right.
I have no idea what he sounds like, but
just I think the thing about the museum that surprised me the most was that they really emphasized how Florida Georgia Line was really a big transition between like old country fans and new country fans.
There was a cool exhibit on them, and I remember reading that specifically.
Right.
Like how they got together and, you know, how they were both, like, they were leading worship at their youth group, right? That was them?
It was either that or, I'm trying to remember, because, like, I know that we obviously saw the exhibit, but then I think while we were driving, we also, like, listened to a podcast
episode. Listened to a podcast with them, yeah.
With, I think it was interviewing Tyler Hubbard, who was... used to be the main singer. Unfortunately, I don't know if y'all know this, but Florida Georgia Line did break up a couple years ago now, or maybe like a year ago now.
Dang.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, kind of sad, but they're both individually still making their own music. So
yeah.
But yeah,
5'9" brown eyes in a sundress.
That's T-Hub right there.
T-Hubby.
But like. They had that exhibit, but even when you're like outside the building, they've got like a little mural, I guess, of like different like icons of country music, and they included Florida Georgia Line on there. Nice. And I was just like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I was just surprised to see a band that was still actively popular and actively making music already make it onto like, you know, like the Country Music Hall of Fame. That just surprised me, I guess.
And they definitely worked for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They had a lot of success, a lot of good bops. They've, I don't know, another thing that I think is cool, this has nothing to do with our trip. They've also just like, in general, helped a lot of other artists get on the map by like featuring
with like features and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that's really cool, the way that they've done that. But
that's kind of you know, kind of like us. Like, you know, we kind of you know, gave my mom some notoriety, bringing her on the podcast, and you know, getting her name out into the scene a little bit. You know.
Because we definitely know more people than your mom does.
We have a lot of sway in the community.
Oh yeah, so much.
Yeah,
like we sneeze and like the NASDAQ drops 2 points.
A lot of people are saying that I don't have sway. I've got sway.
That's right. We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I know people.
That's right. But yeah, no, we probably spent a couple hours in there.
Yep.
Or so.
Yeah, like 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And then by that time, I feel like we were probably getting hungry.
Yeah. I think it was around, maybe like noon or 1 around that time. Maybe 2.
No, really? I thought it was later in the afternoon. It might. Well, because, like, we only got...
Didn't we go... Well... Didn't we go from there to more, like, downtown?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was, like, evening.
Right.
Yeah.
Or...
maybe we're saying the same thing and we just don't realize it. Because... Are you saying that, like, we got done with the museum at 1?
Yeah. Or maybe 2.
Bro, I feel like it was way later than that. I feel
maybe we got there at 1 and we got done with it at, like, 4.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because, like, if we were stopping at the grocery...
we drove for maybe a half hour to another parking spot. And then we walked for a good...
No, we didn't.
A good ways. What?
I don't think you're right, man. I think...
Maybe.
So... Okay, so, we parked... You remember we parked in the parking garage that was, like, right next to the arena where Morgan was playing?
Uh-huh.
I don't think we moved from there.
Did we stay there? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Well, like... Because, like, I think we parked there. We went to the museum. We walked around a little bit. And then we made it to downtown. Because it was all like, pretty close to each other.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we parked in two different places, but...
Yeah.
Anyway. No. That's a good point. Here's the thing. I've been realizing recently that there are certain times where I have a compulsive need to prove that I'm right.
No, honestly, I have no need to be right in this situation at all.
Well, see,
I feel like the thing. You probably are right.
That's the thing. I might be. But, like, even if I am right, sometimes there's, like, things where, like, ultimately it doesn't matter if I'm right.
Sure.
So, anyway.
You guys just really get to come along with us as we both learn of...
as we explore ourselves. Okay, hold on. Sorry, that's my
word it that way.
That's my bad.
As we... Oh, boy.
That was not worded well. As we discover...
As we explore who we are.
Yes. There we go. Sure.
A slight amendment. Yeah. As we explore ways that we're doing things well and maybe not so well.
Yeah.
And that's not a dig, Seth, because I'm definitely... Yeah. I'm right along with you.
There we go. But yeah, no, we made it to downtown. I know that this area has got a specific name, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head. Just like that downtown strip.
The Honky Tonky District.
I mean, that's a pretty good description of it, because, it's just like a bunch of honky tonk bars just like lined up this long street. Which honestly,
bunch of country bars. They're not all necessary,
But like most of them have like live music going on, and most of them are named after different country music artists.
Yeah.
So like I know the one that we stopped in was like Luke Bryan's bar.
Yeah. They had like a truck that he had used in a music video or something, like hung up.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
15 feet up, like crashing through the ceiling or something.
That was
pretty cool.
Yeah.
At that bar, I remember we were clamoring to get some food.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a minute. So while Seth was like ordering for us, I went over and these 2 girls were doing some live music. And I put in a request for some Morgan Wallen song. I
can't even remember. You don't remember?
I don't remember which one it was.
Oh, I do. I'm pretty sure you requested it specifically for me.
Yeah, I did. But I can't remember what it was.
Chasing you like a shot of whiskey.
Burning, going down.
Burn. Yeah, pretty sure that was it.
Yeah, probably. And they played it. Maybe like 5 minutes later. It was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember. I'm pretty sure I think we both ate the same thing.
I think we did, yeah.
At the bar. It was like...
It was some burger, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a burger, but it was like... it was like the
Luke
Bryan...
Well, sure, it was a burger, but it was more than that. It was an experience.
It was... It just made your taste buds have a...
It was love. It was hate. It
was all the emotions. No, I know. This was like the special on the menu. It said it was like Luke Bryan's elk burger.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which, like, it was
good. And we're both big Joe Rogan guys, so we eat elk.
I've actually never listened to a full episode of his podcast. But not because I don't want to. I just haven't.
Well, that makes it sound like you don't want to.
Hey, I just saw that he signed a deal with Spotify to be able to distribute his podcast on YouTube and other services now. So, not important, but I saw it. So
it's important to me.
Yeah, it was a good burger. Like, it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't earth shattering.
No.
As much as Asher and I's description earlier made it seem that way.
Yeah, it was a burger.
Yeah.
But it was cool to be there and, listen to the music. And it was like jam-packed in there. So
oh, yeah.
Everybody's rocking out to whatever they're playing.
And then I know there was like a level, like a top level that you could only get into if you were 21.
Which dang it, bro! I was so close that trip.
You were super close,
but like I wasn't.
You were like a couple months away.
Yeah.
But hey,
and you were the baby.
We're both there now. We got to go back.
Ooh.
That's the only logical explanation.
This summer?
Ooh. Maybe.
Oh.
We'll see.
Oh.
If we
I'm
do
gonna get you fired from your job.
I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm going to be working this summer. I don't have anything lined up at the moment.
Dang, dude, don't line anything up, bro.
Well,
Fire 2 is a week and a half class, and then I'm scot-free.
So, Asher, do you know what is the main way that people are able to finance these trips?
Trust funds?
My parents were poor as hell, so no.
OnlyFans?
I mean, oh man, that is technically an option. I don't know how much we should dig into that.
We're just gonna cut that one off right there.
Yeah, we might.
Probably never should have said it in the first place.
Yeah. But yeah, so
long story short, there are many ways to finance.
There are, and the one that I was trying to get at was a job. A job is usually.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's usually the main way to finance.
I guess.
But yeah,
that's one.
If you're really trying to
if you want to be a try-hard about it,
right? That's a big stretch, but
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Nashville.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was sweet.
I know we kind of just we walked around the streets a good bit.
Tried to see how many bars we could count, and then we lost count. So
yeah, there were quite a few.
I have some pictures from our walk through Nashville, and I think we were like walking on this bridge right as the sun was setting.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoo!
Yeah, you're right.
It was like March and warm, and the sun was setting. Seth's eyes were just so nice to just look into.
Aww.
And, yeah.
I know, Asher, I guarantee you don't remember this, but that's okay. I wouldn't expect you to. Because this was just because I know this was something that was only important to me.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure from that bridge we were able to see the Tennessee Titans football stadium, which I believe is called Nissan Stadium, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so that was cool to me. I mean, like, we had already seen quite a few other sports stadiums over the course of the trip, so it was nice to see that.
I remember I was getting bored on the bridge, so I started doing some parkour thing on something.
That checks out.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that was the bridge, and then we headed back towards the city, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember driving kind of down that main street, and just like the lights and everyone's yelling and
traffic sucked. Driving that was terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I know we made one more stop before we left Nashville. Cuz I don't know why this exists, but for some reason in Nashville there's a replica of like the Parthenon. Or no, yeah, frick, what is it? It's like
Pantheon? No,
I think it is Parthenon.
The Parthenon, yeah.
Yeah, because Pantheon, I think
the Greek pantheon, that's like
referring to the
gods, yeah.
Right, yeah, right. But no, yeah, for some reason that was just totally random, but they
just chilling in Nashville.
Yep.
For some reason.
Which, like, it's cool. I don't know why it's there, but it's cool.
And they had this exhibit of like these huge, I think they're bronze, these huge bronze doors. Really? I don't even know what they went to, but they were just chilling there, and I was like,
was this in the Parthenon? Or like,
it was like next to it, I think.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like 8:00 by the time we were there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then we kind of like messed around there a little bit. I think we saw somebody that was like chucking a football around.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I couldn't remember. I don't think we ever joined them. That would have been fun.
We did not. I was not the joining people type of person at that point in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think from there dude, is this gonna be a 4-parter?
No.
Anyway, we gotta pick up the pace then.
Yeah.
We kept driving. We drove for a while that night, I'm pretty sure. And I think we made it all the way to Memphis that night. Found another Walmart parking lot, as we had grown accustomed to.
Shout out Walmart.
Yeah, honestly.
They saved us quite a bit of money over the course of this trip.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish we could have spent a little bit more time in Memphis.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like we really didn't get the full experience, especially like I've heard people say that like the downtown area of Memphis is really cool, and I feel like we didn't really.
Yeah, we barely touched that.
We didn't really experience that. But the big thing that we did while we were... Oh, wait, no, there was 2 things that we did while we were in Memphis. I always forget about this.
Yeah. I can talk about the one that I remember the best.
Go for it.
So I think sometime in the 1900s, they brought one of the pyramids of Giza to Memphis, Ohio. And,
Memphis, Ohio?
Yeah.
You know Memphis is in Tennessee, right?
Memphis, Tennessee. That's what I said. So, yeah. There's a pyramid in Memphis, and we went to it. And I think sometime in the 2000s, Bass Pro Shops bought it from
Egypt,
the king of Egypt. Yeah. I think the Prince of Egypt had ownership of it, and then
so Moses
he became the king. And yeah.
Let's see. I'm glad you told that part because that's way more fun than my version of the story is gonna be.
What is it even called? The Bass Pro Shops Pyramid?
Yeah, I think so. Because like, it's the 7th largest pyramid in the world.
Oh my gosh!
Which is so weird. Like,
that's insane.
It's kind of dumb, honestly.
It's insane that it's in Ohio. Like, what is it doing there? I don't know. I don't know why I said Ohio.
You got Ohio on the brain right now. I feel bad for you. But yeah, like, it's a really cool structure.
Yeah.
Like, it's made, like, if you're looking at it from the outside, it's almost entirely made of glass. And then, like, obviously, it is like a normal Bass Pro Shop store.
Yeah.
Like, on the inside, like, you know, you could buy stuff.
Inside.
But the exhibits or like the nature displays that they had in it were super cool, I thought. Like,
they had a bunch of fish, huge aquariums.
Yeah. And then, like, even in all the areas where you were like actually shopping, I feel like they tried to, like, they made their own displays of like, different outdoor stuff. And honestly, like, I loved walking around in there. I feel bad admitting this. I've never been hunting before. And I feel
there's
like
a support group for that, I think.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. I feel kind of bad about it because, like, I like fishing, but I've never really done much fishing besides pan fishing. And so, like, I don't know, like, I enjoyed being in there, but at the same time, I felt like a little bit of a fraud.
No, you can, they have just, like, general outdoors stuff.
Yeah, no, they do. They do.
So, yeah. But if you guys have ever been to Cabela's, it was very much the same kind of feel.
I'm pretty sure, aren't they owned by the same company?
They might be. I have no idea.
But yeah, no, it is pretty much the same thing.
But it's like you can shop obviously in there, but the main reason I go in there is to see like the other exhibits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the animals they have mounted in there and stuff.
And then because this one was so big, you could pay to ride an elevator up to the top. Which we did.
We did that.
We did. That. Oh, yeah.
We balled out for this trip.
We did. It was because I think up above there's even like, wasn't there a hotel in there that you could stay in?
There was for sure a restaurant up at the top. I don't
Yeah.
think there was a hotel. Maybe. I thought it was just a big restaurant.
You might be right. I feel like there's something I'm
There's
thinking
like a penthouse suite up there.
Well, like
that would be crazy.
I thought there was, honestly.
Maybe
there was. That one I definitely don't know for sure. But yeah, no, it was super cool because like we didn't get anything at the restaurant there, but there was a nice balcony where you could like look out over the. I'm pretty sure it would have been looks out over the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
At that point.
That was a pretty epic view. I'm glad, like, it stinks that it was more, but I'm glad we paid the extra to go up there.
Me too.
I think we would have regretted it if we hadn't. It was
got some good pictures up there.
It was a pretty sweet view, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one that's like looking straight down at the parking lot, and it is it's. I can't even imagine if it's the 7th tallest. It'd be wild to be on top of the tallest pyramid in the world. I wonder if that's in South America. I'm sure it's not one of the Giza pyramids.
Are those not that big?
I mean, they're big, definitely. I think they're smaller, though. Anyway.
That might require a quick Google search.
Yeah.
What is the largest pyramid in the world?
Jimmy, can you pull that up?
In case y'all are wondering, that's our fake producer named Jimmy.
Yeah, well, Jamie is the name of Joe Rogan's producer.
Oh, gotcha.
Or the guy, like his assistant on the podcast.
Okay. The largest pyramid of the world is the Great Pyramid of Cholula. It is in Mexico.
Bam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, technically South America. Isn't it? Or is that technically still North America?
No. That's a good...
Ooh.
No, yeah, I think it's part of the continent of North America.
Right.
Yeah. But,
not the states, definitely, but the continent
obviously.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Really cool experience. And then the next thing... Okay, so the next thing that we did... I'm going to be honest, we did it because my mom wanted to live vicariously through us.
You didn't even like it that much either?
No, here's the thing. I liked it, and I'm glad that we did it, but I think we could both agree that neither one of us would have chosen to do that.
No.
So, the next place we went to was Graceland, Elvis's house. And... So before we left on the trip, my mom was like asking us like what were all the different places on our itinerary. And she was like, "Oh, you're going to be in Memphis? You should go see Elvis's house." And we looked up some prices and I was like, I don't really want to spend money on that. Yeah. And she was like, "All right. I will give you guys the money to go and see this. But you can't spend it on anything else."
Which is where we went wrong. We should have...
we should have spent it on something else.
Sorry, Amy.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm glad that I can say that I've been there. That's kind of where I stand on it.
It's an interesting bit of trivia about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Elvis was obviously... He probably was the biggest singer of the 20th century in Western culture. He did so much for music and for America while he was around. And so, we took a guided tour of his home.
Some of his cars were pretty sweet.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
That was definitely... They had a kind of a separate museum.
Oh, you're right.
For some of his cars and... What else was... Because there was that was what we saw before we went over to Graceland.
Yes, you were correct.
What was there? Because we saw a bunch of cars and vehicles in there, and they can't have all been his.
No, I mean, well... He owned a lot of cars.
Yeah.
I know there was walls with his records.
Yep.
Maybe
it was all just his stuff.
There was a display with his bedazzled suit that he would wear. And then oh no, dude! There was the model of his private jet that we.
Yeah, we went in there. Why don't I have any pictures of that?
I don't think I do either. That might. unfortunately, that might have been one where like they didn't allow you to take
Oh
pictures.
yeah, no photography.
But I forgot about that. That was
pretty cool.
Yeah. But the house itself, I think it was a big house, as you could probably imagine. He had the money to blow. And I'm looking through the pictures right now. He had a really fun billiard room.
Yep.
In the house.
He had like this basement room, I think, that they like watched movies in and stuff, and it had like a bar in it.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. And the color scheme was really weird.
And it's all
too.
like blue and yellow.
Yeah, exactly. That was so weird. Like,
kind of. You can tell that it's definitely not from our time period, because
right.
It's. I wonder what it would have been like to be there when he was living there. Like if it really was just the height of, fashion and what was in then. Because you look at it now and you're like, how does all this, like, it's eccentric, certainly.
Right.
How does it all fit together? There's so many rooms that are kind of what you would expect. And then there's like this room, I think they called it like the jungle room or something, where everything's right. Like dark wood paneling, and he has like, it looks like AstroTurf kind of carpet in there.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
And
he also had like his own like racquetball court.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, if you did end up going to Graceland and you couldn't find anything that was interesting to you, that's a you problem.
Yeah. No, because
like there was so much definitely stuff. Like interesting aspects of it.
Yeah. No.
Even if you weren't a huge Elvis fan.
And again, it's kind of like the thing. It's kind of the reason why, like, I wanted to go to see Taylor Swift on the Eras tour, is because, like, yeah, I like her music, but I'm not like a super fan. But I wanted to go and see it, just because, like, of the fact that she was like she's been the defining artist of like our generation. She
is probably the artist of the decade, as far as influential.
Honestly, almost the entire 21st century. Not the entire, but pretty darn close now. But yeah, like it's just cool to say, like, you got to see the place where he was buried next to his wife. So yeah, no, it was. I'm glad we did it. Like, would I go again? Probably not. But it was a good historical experience to have, I feel like, yeah. He had a big pool out in his yard.
Big old pool.
That probably doesn't surprise anybody.
And like, I think you were talking, that racquetball court.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Massive.
Like it's its own separate building. So yeah, he was baller.
He was. Yes, he was. Anything else about Graceland?
No. It was cool to. I think I watched like part of a little video presentation that was talking about how he bought like go-karts for him and all of his friends.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my
and he
gosh,
would just
I forgot about that.
Cruise around Memphis. And police were like, hey, you really can't do this anymore. But he was like such a big star. Like,
right.
What are you going to do? Send Elvis to jail?
Yeah, you're not going to arrest Elvis.
He was above such things.
In a way, he kind of was. But yeah, no, that was pretty much all we did in Memphis. I feel like by that point in our trip, we were starting to run out of steam a little bit. You know, like, it was fun to, like, do the redneck thing of just, like, sleeping in Walmart parking lots and just using dry shampoo and deodorant. But I don't know. I think by that point, at least for me, I was ready to, like, go home and take a real shower and, you know.
All right, you say that like our shower in the river wasn't a real shower.
Hey, you know, that's a good point. That's my bad, and I apologize to that river for the cleansing power it had over us.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think we kept on driving. We
cruised on through.
We made a very brief pit stop in St. Louis.
Yep.
Because we both wanted to see the arch.
Which I actually have, like, more pictures of the arch than a lot of other things we saw. I really liked that. That was, like, it was probably, like, the most simple structure we saw on the whole trip. And it was really cool. I don't know what about it, like, interested me. But it's just a big arch. It doesn't really do anything.
Yep.
It's just there because they were like, hey, what if we built an arch?
And we were there at night. Like, that was when we stopped. And there's a bunch of headlights. Or, like, not headlights. What's the word?
Like spotlights.
Yeah. Spotlights on the ground that were, like, shining upwards. And you could, like, see the reflection or the shadow of it on the clouds.
That was wild.
That was so cool. And then I'm looking at the pictures right now. Apparently, like, the area around that arch is considered a national park.
What?
Yeah, like, there's barely any natural things there. And yet they call it a national park. So...
All right.
Hey, I can add that to my list of national parks I've been to. I always forget about that one because it shouldn't be called a national park. Because it's
not a national, yeah.
But yeah,
neat, I guess
that was short and sweet what we did right there.
It was nice, like, walking through the city at night. That was kind of a cool vibe. Walking back to the car.
Yeah. Kept on driving. And then, I don't know, I think we were probably debating about whether to keep driving all the way through home. But then we ended up having to stop at one more Walmart parking lot at some stupid town in Illinois. I don't know what
gosh, that's right.
The name of the town was. But I remember we got there, it was like 2 a.m.
Yep.
And we were both exhausted by that point.
We have to stop.
And it was pouring rain.
Yep.
At that point. Just like...
Some of you might be saying, all right, it's not Illinois' fault that it was raining on you guys. Yes, it is.
It's entirely their fault, so shame on you, Illinois.
That was a targeted attack.
Yes. And it was like... It was like the kind of rain where, like, the wind is blowing so hard where it's, like, raining sideways. And I remember, dude, I had to pee so bad. And obviously it's 2 a.m, so I don't think the Walmart was actually open at this point. And so it was like, you know what? I'm going to admit something on the show right now that I think is technically a crime, but push came to shove in this scenario. I had to pee so bad. And I was like, you know what? We are in the middle of an mostly empty Walmart parking lot. It is pouring rain. I'm just going to find, like, one of those nearby, like, Walmart medians where they've got, like, a little bit of, like, what are the wood chips? Like, you know, the areas where they got just, like, wood chips around it. And then, like, one little tree, you know. It's like the Walmart thing. And I went outside and I just, like, I took a pee right there.
I think you're admitting this like it's a terrible thing. And I've done this so many times. It's really not that bad. You just make sure no one can see you and you're golden.
It's 2 a.m. and it's pouring rain. If you can see me right now, that is entirely your fault.
That's on you.
Yeah.
You're looking a little too hard.
Yep. But yeah, we slept a little bit and woke up that morning. I have pictures from that morning when we went into the Walmart.
Yeah, dude, that was like
go to the bathroom.
We were so tired. I remember I got this Walmart for some reason had like the coolest lighting. So I took this mirror selfie.
It was the bougiest Walmart bathroom I've ever seen.
And my hair was like all messed up, but it was like the perfect kind of messed up.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, if you look up the definition of like standard bedhead, that's what that was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we made the final leg of the trip back. Remember cheering when Google Maps announced us welcome to Wisconsin.
Those sweet Wisconsin roads. Take me home.
Right. I'll get to this in my adventure microdose, but every time I have to be in Illinois and then I'm driving back into Wisconsin, I always cheer so loud when. Anyway. Yeah.
Remember you? Dang. Dude, that was when I was still living with Daniel, and I remember you dropping me off at Daniel's house, and I'm like standing there in his parking lot with my like 3 bags and my pillow and all my stuff, and it was like our journey had ended.
Yeah.
And it felt like how it must have felt to return to the Shire after going to Mount Doom and in Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah,
it was obviously that trip was more epic in every way, but this felt like the end of
it was just sad to see it go.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it was time for it to end, but you didn't want it to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, I'd be like,
and then you were going back to school, so I was like, it was like,
oh yeah,
the trip was done, but then I knew I wouldn't see you for a while.
Yeah.
And it was definitely bittersweet.
It was. Definitely was. But I don't know. I feel like most things are good because they end. You know? Like you have to cherish the fact that it happened and make the most of it while you're doing it. Because you know that it won't be there forever, So, there's my little tidbit of wisdom for the day.
Dropping quotes.
So yeah, that's it, guys. Honestly, I feel like
a bang.
I feel a little bit sad just coming to the end of telling the story. Yeah. And it's definitely not because now we got to figure out something else for content. But
no. If you think this is all we had, you are sorely mistaken. I'm really excited for the next 2 episodes coming up.
Yeah.
We've got a guest.
Oh, yeah.
And
get ready.
It's going to be a banger. And I know bangers.
You know bangers?
I know bangers.
Yeah. Well, I know we're already running a little long on this episode, but it doesn't matter. We we persevere, and we're still going to give you that sweet, sweet adventure microdose that you're craving.
Adventure microdose.
Adventure microdose. Ooh. Nope, that definitely wasn't it. We gotta keep working on that. Asher, what happened to you over the last couple weeks?
Well, so my adventure microdose, came just, let's see, this would have been, Thursday evening. One of my friends, invited a bunch of us from the campus ministry I'm a part of, Campus Collective. He invited us to meet his girlfriend who lives in New York. She was visiting for the weekend, I think. And he was like, I want you guys all to meet her, and we're going to go ice skating, and it'll be great. And right. So I got done with class on Thursday. I wasted a little time. And then I do what I always do. I waste time because I think I have time, and then I'm still late to the thing.
Yep, that checks out.
Yeah. But it was really fun. I hadn't ice skated in a while, and I started out with the skating, the figure skates. And that was pretty awful. But then one of my friends was like, dude, get ask if you can get the hockey skates. And let me tell you, it made a big difference. So we were there for probably 2 hours, and maybe an hour in, I was starting to get my flow back.
Dude, hockey skates are so much better than figure skates. It's not even close.
Easily. My grandpa bought me a pair of hockey skates, in middle school. And there was a rink just a couple blocks from kitty corner to me in Minnesota. So I would skate all the time. I loved it. So that was kind of nostalgic to be back on some skates. And then right towards the end, one of the kids that was there was like, hey, can you gritty on the skates? And I was like, yeah, kid. So then,
let me show you how it's done.
That turned into me. So at this rink, they had these little plastic things. It's basically like a walker, but on the ice to help you learn how to skate. So one of the kids was using one of them, but just zooming around the rink with it. He did not need it at all to learn how to skate. And I was like, that looks super fun. So I grabbed one, and I'm cruising around, and somehow that turned into bumper cars. Whoops, sorry.
Of course it did.
So there's 4 kids and I just ramming into each other.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, I kind of waited until they were all around me. I was like, all right, guys, you see my friend over there in the black hat? Everybody ram him.
Oh my gosh.
And it was one of my friends that hadn't skated as much, so he was still trying to get his footing a little bit. And we just all rammed him.
You are so mean.
It was fantastic.
You are going to be the best uncle ever.
Yeah, but not a very good dad, probably.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. So that was fun. Obviously, the person that was running the place came out and told us that we had to stop.
That checks out.
We flew a little too close to the sun. We were ramming each other really a lot, and it was starting to cause a bit of a commotion. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we played tag on the ice. We played bumper cars. We busted sick moves. Shay and I were trying to remember how to do like spins on the skates. That was pretty fun. It was a good time. It was a good time had by all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah. So for me, my adventure microdose unfortunately took me to the state of Illinois.
Ugh. Don't you just like feel gross even saying that?
Yeah, it's kind of like certain cuss words, you know. It's just like, yeah. Anyway, I had to go for the day because of work, because like there was like this busy season kickoff meeting that we were having at a bar for like everyone in my tax group that works in both the Chicago, Milwaukee, and Minneapolis offices. And so I drove to work that day. Google Maps lied to me. Google Maps told me it was only supposed to take me 2.5 hours to get there. And I thought that Google Maps had already accounted for any potential traffic that I would see. It did not. And so on the way to work, I had to be in traffic for 3.5 hours.
No!
And it sucked. It was the worst. I don't understand how there's some people that do that every day. I couldn't do it.
Yuck.
Thankfully, I did get to work in time. Because what's nice about the place where the company I work for is that usually I work out of the Milwaukee office, but I can go in and do my normal work at pretty much any office.
Nice.
So, I worked out of the Chicago office that day. Got there just in time for my training that I was supposed to do. So that was good. And finding parking was crazy because I got to the parking structure and it was supposed to print out a little ticket for you, right? But I just, it told me to put in my credit card, so I did. And then it just let me through. It didn't give me a ticket. And so I was like, so how am I supposed to get out? I eventually ended up figuring it out anyway.
This sounds like something I would expect of Illinois.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I worked until like 4 that day, and then went over to this party we were having. It was fun. It was one of the weirdest bars I've ever been to. It was a ping pong bar where like the whole idea of it was that like you go there to drink and play ping pong. So I don't know. That's kind of a
interesting
new experience for me.
I'm definitely better at ping pong when I've been drinking.
There you go.
So the concept makes sense.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I had the worst old fashioned that I have ever had.
How do you mess up an old fashioned?
Here's how. Let me explain to you how this bartender messed this up.
He said, I have receipts.
I was like, I go up to the bartender and I'm like, so hey, you make an old fashioned? And he was like, oh yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Give me a sour old fashioned. And so he turns around. He didn't ask me that. He goes over to the other bartender, and I could tell that he like was asking her like, how do you make a sour old fashioned? And so what this poor guy's definition of a sour old fashioned was just taking a lemon and squeezing extra like lemon juice into the old fashioned. And so I get it and I taste it and I'm like, oh, this is like sour, like actually sour. And I was like, oh shoot, he took me literally, didn't he?
Every day we stray further and further from God.
We do. It was sad. I was like, I just wanted a good old-fashioned with, whatever the standard, like, grapefruit soda
is. Yeah, like soda water, yeah.
Yeah, that they put in. And the Illinois bartender failed me. So
imagine that.
Yeah, I really just need to go to a Wisconsin bar here real quick. I need to learn how to make my own old fashions.
Oh yeah, it's not hard.
I know. I should probably. Honestly, I think I have all the materials for it. I just need to go on YouTube and find a video quick and.
Yeah. You and Rowan should get. Do you guys have one of those the shakers?
Yeah, we do actually.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, we've got. That was one of the cool things that she put on our wedding registry, which is like a whole mixology set, nice. Where you get the shaker, you've got a muddler, you've got a wine cork opener, a couple other things too.
Got the whole kit.
Yeah, no, it's super cool, and I've only used a couple of things, so. But yeah, it was fun, but I did make it back that night. I drove back, and I did what I said I'd do. I cheered when Google Maps told me that I was back in Wisconsin.
Hooray!
And now I know never to order an old-fashioned outside of Wisconsin. So, yep.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm. That was my adventure of microdose. So
nice. Well, that guys, thanks for coming along for this this ride, the spring break trip.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for in 2 weeks' time when we roll out the first episode of our guest, our new guest. So
that's right. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. In the meantime, stay cool, stay weird, and
go forth and live uncharted.